Hey, TNE fans, you are listening to TNE Inspire, and this is your editor-in-chief of TNE Magazine here today with one of the most phenomenal women. I'm on the phone today with iShallBe, and iShallBe is the founder of iShallBe.
iShallBe is your daily motivational boost, providing a daily affirmation to uplift users through quotes, music, and videos. iShallBe strives to create a platform for everyone to speak positive things for life's journey into existence. Users are encouraged every Sunday to share their iShallBe statement for the week. Monday through Friday, users receive a daily notification to keep them uplifted and motivated no matter what obstacle they may face. If you speak it, it shall be.
Hey, iShallBe, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am wonderful. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with iShallBe, iShallBe is a Detroit native and an entrepreneur with a lifetime of experience of creating opportunities through connecting words and people. When she launched iShallBe back in December of 2017, her app is just amazing. It's filled with affirmations and thoughts and everything that you need for that daily inspiration to get you through the day, as well as with videos to keep you in tune and inspired. iShallBe, what really helps you to get iShallBe as a concept, as an app, as a woman of color in tech? What helped you to kind of decide to do an app that was so powerful?
So I wanted to create something for people just to have a platform they can go to where they, regardless to whatever it is, when they open up iShallBe, they're going to feel motivated. They can feel motivated just by affirmation, or they'll feel motivated by seeing someone else's post and saying, okay, you know what, I feel better about this because I know I'm not the only one going through this. Sometimes on other social media platforms, we are motivated, but then we open it and we don't know what we're going to get. So my main objective was to encourage people to also, it's okay to be vulnerable when you're going through hard times, but most importantly, as you're going through those hard times, I want you to feel motivated to speak something positive to existence. So the main goal for me was that I wanted to create a platform for affirmations, but I also wanted to create something for people to do nothing but speak positivity into existence, because I noticed that we're really quick when something doesn't work out in the manner that we want it to work out. We're quick to say, oh, my goodness, it's not going to work out. It's not for me. But it's only not for you and it's not going to work out because you're speaking that into existence. Your mind and your body is pretty much is doing what you're speaking out into the universe. So I wanted to just get people in the habit of just speaking positivity into your life and into existence.
You know, iShallBe, I couldn't agree with you more. Like, I'm a firm believer in you create the environment that you want to have happen in your world. So that's another thing that I really found amazing about your app is because, like you said, if you put on Instagram or you go to Facebook, you might see somebody get shot. You never know what you're going to get scrolling through that feed. They say that based off of the algorithms, you normally see a lot more of what you want to see, but inevitably I feel like they still mix it in, so that was one of the things that really drew me to your app because it's all positive all the time. Can you kind of tell the viewers a little bit about your journey as an entrepreneur and a woman in tech and how you really kind of got into getting your app started and what it took to really get everything done?
Oh, yeah. So it started back in December 2016 when I was sitting at my desk at work, and I just randomly started, you ever get bored at work and you start going through your phone? So I started going through my phone, and I found all of these notes from church that I used to take when I was in college, before I went to school, also even from once I came back home. And I said, what am I doing with all these notes? We're trained to take notes at church, but then what exactly are we doing with them? And I said it would be cool to kind of send this out to different people for words of affirmation, but it will be even cooler if I can send it out via app and then they're receiving the notifications when they first wake up in the morning. So that's where the idea stems from, is me kind of collecting quotes over the years and saying, what am I going to do with them? How about I share them? And so from there, I was like, okay, well, I want to make it different. I don't want them to just only receive quotes. I want them to also receive motivational videos from other people who are also may be experiencing some of the trials and tribulations that our users may have experienced or are experiencing. So I was like, well, let's do the videos. And so that's where Monday motivational videos come from. And then Tuesday is, honestly, I love music. And sometimes when I'm listening to music, I'll hear something say, ooh, that was good. That's a quote right there. And I said, you know what? We have to be mindful of some of the things that we're listening to, because, again, when we're singing those things, we're speaking that into existence. So that's where I came up with the idea of bringing music into an affirmation to someone's day as well. So my journey to find an app developer was I went to Florida University, and I started reaching out to some of my sorority sisters and said, hey, I want to do an app. Who should I reach out to? Who can help me? I'm not a coder, and I really want to get this app out. And so from there, I was introduced to our current app developer, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to step out on faith and just work with him. And pretty much it started there. He pretty much he coded the app for me, but the challenges that I've faced is that, just trying to get people to download the app. And so some of the challenges I face as far as trying to figure out if I want to charge for the app, because a lot of times I get questions such as, oh, well, how exactly are you making money from this? And I will be honest, the goal wasn't necessarily to do this to make money, but more so I just wanted to encourage people to speak things into existence, because, again, we're living in a day and age of social media where our lives are kind of like dictated by social media and what other people think of us, where we start, if we're not met with a certain standard because of what someone else is doing, then we start questioning ourselves. So it wasn't the idea was to make money from it, but then also I knew that in order for me to fund iShallBe, I had to somehow come up with a way. So one of the challenges that I faced was just trying to get users to download the app, because when we first started, it was a one-time fee of 99 cents. But what I've learned is that some people wouldn't download the app because they see that 99 cents and they may think that it's reoccurring. So that's one challenge. A challenge as a Black woman in the tech industry, that one is good, because I never really paid attention to it until now. And recently with the I'll be honest, there was the recent recent documentary that came out about the Fire Festival. And I asked myself, I said, how is it that this guy was able to get so much money and funding, and he didn't even have a product at the time? Whereas here I am, I have a product, it's been out for a year, and I'm still trying to figure out how exactly where I go to get the funding. And someone told me and said, well, yeah, you do have to have an app, because you do have to have a product, because the difference between you and him is that you're a Black woman and he's a white male. And I was kind of like, are we still having that issue today? And they were like, yeah. But I was like, I never knew that that's what people were looking at. Maybe I was more so just kind of purposely being naive, because I didn't want to necessarily face the fact that when people look at me, they're not looking at the product, they're looking at me as an individual. So I can say that's some of the challenges that I faced, but when I hear those things, I kind of keep going, because I do believe that I have a purpose to fulfill, to, again, encourage people to live their best life, and most importantly, speak positivity into existence.
Yeah, I think, like what you were saying, because, and I think to go deeper into, okay, well, he's a European and you're an Asiatic woman and a Black woman in America, I think it also goes into, when they think tech, they think of who are the tech billionaires. And America, even people of color in America, have become brainwashed or whitewashed into believing that everything white is right. And if you are a person of color, they become skeptical, or is it a scam? Like you said, is this a one-time 99-cent thing? Is she going to try to hit me up every month for 99 cents? I feel like the way tech has become inadvertently is okay, well, you think tech billionaire, you think a white person, a European. So I feel like anybody who don't look like the mold of what they've seen in tech they automatically become skeptical that, oh, okay, this can't be a real thing, or this person can't know what they're doing, or this person can't really have something that really works. And to hear that you're experiencing it, it just kind of confirms on how I feel about a lot of people with tech. And let me ask you, the guy who does your coding, is he a person of color?
Yes. So, yes, he is. And I will be honest and transparent with you, is that when it came down to selecting the app developer, that was one of my things, that I wanted someone who talked like me, who looked like me, so that way it will be easy in just kind of understanding who I am as a person. Because, again, I've heard horror stories where people have trusted someone else with their baby and then never received anything. I mean, they paid all this money. So it was very important to me that I get someone to, that I bring someone onto the team who looks like me and who can talk like me, who can help me understand some of the terminology. And I will give him credit as saying, like, some of the things that I've learned today is through, is based off the app developer that I have. And I will say that I don't necessarily think that if I went with the other app developer in the beginning, that I would, be to where I am today as far as actually having the app in stores. Because, again, getting the app developed is one thing, but getting it approved to get in stores is a whole nother beast in itself.
So talk a little bit more about that. Like, talk a little bit more about once the app is done, what are some of the different steps and processes that people have to go through to actually get their app approved to be in store? Right.
So once you have the app coded, you still are kind of like, okay, the code is done, but is it right for the Apple Store? So I would say that it's a little easier to kind of get your app into Google Play rather than to the App Store. For whatever reason, Google Play kind of approves it a little. The approval process is easier. But with Apple, I mean, they will plan out every single thing. I'll give an example. So one of the images that we use when we are doing Motivational Monday videos, it had two logos on there. It had the Google Play logo as well as the Apple App Store logo. And so they kept declining our submission because we submitted it with that image in there. They said, well, you can't have a Google Play image inside of the App Store. We're thinking like, well, that shouldn't be a big deal, but it was a big deal. Also, it was like a lot. They wanted your bugs to be perfect. And you would think like, well, why would we see today? I mean, there's been plenty of times we got on social media and something went wrong. That would be a bug defect. But it's like certain things like that is pointed out in the beginning. So it's almost like mind-boggling. You're saying, well, how is it that this app is available, but then it's not allowing us to get approved into the app because of a bug? So what exactly is it? So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of like touches on it. Can you kind of like talk to the people more so? Because like when you think about an app, right, as an entrepreneur, and this really mainly is for the entrepreneurs out there, because everybody, back in the late 90s, everybody told you had to have your own website. Then in the early 2000s, mid-2000s, everybody said you had to have a social media platform that was linked to your website. And now in the late, 2020 coming in, everyone's saying you have to have an app, right? So as an entrepreneur, kind of like talk about the additional like costs that you have to put in perspective when you have an app, and like really the time, because like you started thinking about this in 2016, but it took like a good year before it actually came to fruition and it launched. So how much time did you really have to allocate out of your day-to-day life to be able to make this happen, and how much time did you have to commit with your coder to actually make it a real thing?
So that's a great question. So I came up with the idea December 2016. I signed a contract with the app developer in March 2017. So with that being said, a lot of times people think of an app and they're like, oh, we're going to get all these downloads. But I'm just like, well, wait, have you considered marketing and branding just yet? That's a whole entire another bill, as I like to say. So I started pushing iShallBe on social media in June of 2017. So from June of 2017, starting June 2017, it was like go time. It was like, okay, let's get people prepared for this app that's getting ready to come out, although the app isn't available. So while I'm pretty much marketing, I have the marketing and pretty much branding iShallBe. I have the app developer who's working the back end, just pretty much getting the code up to code. So again, we're at March. Ideally, the app was going to be ready. You know, the app should have been ready in July. But because of some of the issues that we were having with trying to get the code right, I mean, we didn't get the app successfully. We got the app in stores. Successfully, we got it in stores in November. But, again, I celebrate December 4th because that was the day that we were successfully in both stores. So it was a process because, again, as a coder, he kind of had to go back and see exactly where's the mishap, and then also trying to do tests on different phones. So here's another challenge, is that with the iPhones are always updating. It's the craziest thing. Like when iPhones first came out, it was just like an iPhone 1. Now we're at like iPhone 11. It feels like. So in 2017, I think the iPhone 6 was out. But then once I finally got iShallBe out in stores, that's when the iPhone 10 came out. And so now we're like, oh my goodness, is the actual app going to be compatible with iPhone 10? So these are some of the issues that we were faced with because, again, that when you're doing an app, you have to make sure that it's up to date, not only for the actual app store, but for the phone itself.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. See, I never joined the iPhone clan. Like, so to me, because, you know, our magazine is available on your mobile devices, but to me, I never was a part of the iClan. And, like, even in Hollywood here, everybody's iPhone. It's all everything. Everybody's, like, in the iClan. I call it the iClan because to me it's like it's like a cult. Because they do everything, like, I know you are on, you know, the iPlatform, so you're not going to talk bad about them. But it's like they do everything to make sure that you're so invested in what they're doing. And sometimes they're doing stuff that's light years behind what Galaxy is doing. But when they come out with it, because their people are only into them, they don't even realize, oh, this is the hottest new thing. Galaxy's been doing that for years. But whatever, I digress. The main thing that I take away from what you're saying is making sure that you're keeping it correct to each phone, to be willing to put the time in for any continuous, like, updates that can happen so that you stay compatible on all devices, and putting in perspective to have a marketing budget. What would you say the percentage of your budget you actually allocated for marketing?
So I'll be honest. Again, we're being transparent. With iShallBe, I'm bootstrapping. So when we talk about a budget, I'm pretty much paying for everything that you see with iShallBe is coming straight directly out of my pocket. So when we talk about budgeting, I would say that, I mean, we talk about marketing itself. I would say you need a good, starting out, I would say you would need at least $5,000 for marketing.
And is that a month, a quarter, a year?
Well, I'm just saying let's break it down like this. We're going to be honest. I was like, right now I'm paying almost like $700 a month. That's including like my social media, my designs. That's also including my PR. That's also including, you know, me. I always put like something to a side as far as like when I go out to events and try to tell people to download the app. Whenever I need something printed, that's what's included. So if you want to take like 700 and times that by 12, that's what I would say for the year. Because again, once you pay for the app and once that's up to code, then you're good. To a certain extent, because again, we're getting ready to release iShallBe 3.0 in the summer. So, and we've only been out for a little bit under a year. Over a year. So that's again, when you're doing an app and you have to do all these different updates, you also have to take that into consideration.
Now, let me ask you this, because you do have your platform on the iTunes or iStore, whatever they call it, iStuff. How do I ain't a part of that. Like, one of the biggest things that people who have a podcast and they have it on, like, in the iStore is, like they said, like maybe 3 years ago if they had a podcast, it'd be easy for people to find them, right, and to get all of this traction through the store and people to download. But now with different updates and different settings, it's a lot harder to be on that first page of things for people to see, like as far as the suggestion app. Do they charge you like an additional money and advertising in the store to be able to be like on the first page or to be a suggestion app when somebody's downloading another app?
Yeah, so it does cost. So that's all within the ad. So I know, like, someone recently told me, they were like, instead of you doing events, you need to just pay for ads. And I'm more so like, I'm a people's person, but yes, all that you have to factor all that good stuff into it as well. The ads are also important as well.
So, like, for instance, if you wanted to be on the first page of iStore, and so as soon as somebody opened their iStore for you to show up on the first page, is that normally based off of just ads, or is that based off of how many people have downloaded the app that day, or like you like number one in trends, like on Twitter, they're like, oh, this is trending, or like in YouTube, they're like, this video is trending. Like, do they do like so many people on their first page just based off of a trend, or how many downloads do you have to have before they even consider you to be on that first page?
Right. So so you have to. Sometimes the way it works is, because I'm still trying to get to this point, is that it works in various. It can be based on exactly, they can tell exactly how many apps you have downloaded that's within that particular topic. So, like, for instance, iShallBe in the Apple App Store falls under the lifestyle brand. So, lifestyle app. So that's one way it does it. It can also be if you make the top 100. So it will also kind of be like, okay, this app was in the top 100, and also it is trending as far as how many downloads it has received. And then there's also the other option is that you are going based off of, you can also do the ads as well. So, like, one of my goals, like currently my goal right now is just to get downloads, get our engagement up, get our get our users up as well, and get our retention up.
Well, that's amazing. And Shelby, I love your app. I love you. I think you're great. I want to continue to see you do well. I want to continue for people to download your app. I think you've given out helpful tips for entrepreneurs to really get into the app life and kind of have a good idea of what they would need to put in consideration before they try to get an app going. Can you tell our followers and listeners where they can go to their iStory or Google Play to get your app, or where they can go to your website to be able to download your app?
Oh, yes. So iShallBe, again, is available for download in the Apple App Store as well as Google Play Store. Once you just head over to search, you'll just type in iShallBe, and the app will appear, and you can download it for free there. And then you can also connect with us on social media. It's iShallBe 2_.
Okay, and that's on Instagram, Facebook, Snap, everything, right?
Yes. Everything but Snapchat.
Now, how you feel about Snapchat? Are you anti-Snapchat?
No, I'm not anti. Okay, so, again, here we go being transparent. I'm like I was just telling someone, I am like an introvert, an extrovert, but when it comes to social media, I am trying my best. I haven't necessarily grasped the whole kind of like talking into the camera and like telling everyone what's going on. So I'm not against Snapchat, but Snapchat is very interactive with your life, whereas with Instagram, you can make a post and make a caption, and then I'm also trying to like tap into the whole Insta story thing too. So I'm not against Snapchat. I have a personal Snapchat, but as far as for iShallBe, I haven't necessarily mastered it just yet.
All right, guys, well, look out for maybe iShallBe Snapchat in the future. But as for now, look for her Instagram and YouTube with iShallBe 2_. Download the app on Google Play and the iStore. so that you can get that daily positivity. And make sure you check out the March issue of TNE Magazine to see what I thought about iShallBe, some of my favorite pages, and some of the favorite things I think you should not miss out on once you download the app. So until next time, guys, stay inspired here at TNE Magazine. See you soon.